Hello, Warren. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for coming on. I've actually, like I
Yeah.
said just before off camera, I really wanted to get somebody on who was industry specific because I know quite a few. I'm sure you have quite a few removals guys following you, so I think this would be quite valuable for anybody who's coming on.
Yeah.
So I'm
No,
trying. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
thank you for having me on. Pleasure.
No problem. So like I said before, we're going to start with a joke. I'm just trying something new. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. Go. People said I'd never get over my obsession with Phil Collins, but take a look at me now.
Did you
So,
get that off Instagram?
yeah, dad jokes. I live for that. I live for that, kids.
Yeah.
You got it as well.
No, I don't really know any dad jokes, to be fair.
It's an Instagram page called Dad Jokes. Full of
Is it?
absolute gems. So, like I say, thank you very much for coming on. Why don't you take the floor for? I know I've talked a lot, but why don't you take the floor for 2 to 5 minutes? Just tell us who you are, a bit about your background and your company, and tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, so I'm Warren. I'm 34. Started the company when I was 28, so I'm into my sixth year now. I used to work for a guy called John. He has a haulage company, and he used to do like a bit like DPD, but what it was for like nursing homes, so like delivering nutrition food for old people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a relaxed business, so I could use the van if I needed to. If I had something to pick up, I could always use it. But a lot of my mates started to cotton on to that kind of stuff, so they're asking me if I could pick up a sofa or pick up a fridge, or I'll buy you a pint, that kind of drill. And that was happening probably once every weekend. So I sat down with my boss and I said, would you mind if I started to hire out your van, however much you wanted. Your van doesn't work on the weekend, so, if you don't mind. And he was all up for that because, if he could earn a bit of extra money, he would. So we started it like that. And then after a couple of weeks, I got a call and somebody wanted a quote, and I proper froze on the phone. I was like, I don't even know if I can do this because, I don't know anything about removals. I've only ever moved my mate's sofas.
Yeah.
So I panicked and I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. The job sounds too big for me. So back to the drawing board, started to go do a little bit more jobs for my friends and family, etc. And then all of a sudden I started to get a bit more confident with it. So I went back, made myself some horrible little flyers, promoted it more on Facebook. And then I managed to get like a few calls and a few customers, and I went in, I'd just go in and I'd act all confident, pretending I knew what I was doing, pretending I had like 10 vans behind me, but I never had any.
Yeah.
And that's just how it started, really. So one job led to another job, and I was always undercharging. I just wanted the jobs, really. I just wanted to work for myself and get good reviews and meet new people. That's what I was craving. I'd never ever craved the money, not once. I always just wanted to work for myself. Just wanted good feedback and people to speak highly of me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you, like in that first stage? I think I heard in a video you talking about. Did you charge your first job like at 120 quid, and you give your mate and your boss 50? Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you
yeah. So I made a tenner on that job. It was a good 10-hour day as well. A hard slog.
Hard graft. I done the exact same thing. My first job, some girl actually asked me to come out to do clearance.
Yeah.
And what happened was it was just like a few things in the back garden, and me and my friend went out, and it actually was like 2 van loads of soil. So we just ended up shoveling all this soil in there, and I got charged like 50 quid, and I had to give him like 30 for like 4 hours work, and he was sitting covered in muck up the walls. But it's fun. It's funny looking back. The same guy still works for me. It's just good looking back at those like little stories and thinking, Jesus, how did I do that?
Yeah, but you become family, don't you? When you start the company, you get like little mates who help you, but then they become part of the company, like part of the family. So I suppose you've got guys like that.
Absolutely. And so, how has your business evolved from day one, from your very first move up until right now?
So when I first started, I didn't own a van. I was just hiring out a van. That lasted about 12 months, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. Can't quite remember, but I bought my first van, which coincidentally was the van that I was hiring. So that is the van that I taught myself with.
Yeah.
So I started I went by myself basically. So the first 12 months I was doing it on the weekend and still had a full-time job. I went by myself, and then I started to realise actually I was always hiring out vans. So I had my own van, then I was hiring out more vans. So I realised quite soon that actually one van just isn't enough for removals. Not where I wanted to be anyway. There's man in a van jobs and that, but that just was never for me.
Yeah.
I just always wanted to do the bigger houses. So that's when I took the plunge, and then I got another van on finance, which was a brand new van. I got a good deal on it. It's like 15,000 plus VAT, so 18,000. And that is when it really started to elevate for me. So I had 3 members of staff at this point. And that's when my clientele base started to expand. So different customers, bigger houses, estate agents started getting in touch. 2 vans is when it really hit home that this is what I want to do forever.
Yeah,
definitely. As far as where it evolves, because I'm still in it now, I'm in it every single day. It's like a whirlwind, so I kind of have to track back to myself. But now we've got like 15, 16 staff, and we've got 10 vans in total. We've got a warehouse. It
was quite exponential for you. It was like all of a sudden it was 1 and 2 vans, and the next thing it just went 10 for a period of a couple of years.
Yeah. So I basically bought 2 vans each year. That's what I'm averaging at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I've only done that really to try and keep my tax down. So whenever I build up a revenue, I slam it on a van. That's just how I've always been. I'm not the biggest believer of finance. So if I do get finance, I pay it off as fast as I possibly can. So for instance, we're in this coronavirus outbreak, and I know that all of my vans are there, and I've only got finance on 1 of them out of 10, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm not worried too much about them just sat there for a few months.
Yeah, do you know what? I feel exactly the same. And the first 3 years we were there, we were making money, but it was like, man with the van, like cash jobs, and I was like, thought I was making money, but when you don't actually know the numbers of your business, you're actually not making that much. So no. I've actually scaled back my own personal income to reinvest in the business and take on more staff, because I'm exactly the same. I want to build, every time I get to build up a revenue, I'll buy equipment or buy something, or I'll invest in something. And I think, especially in the first 5 years, it's so important.
Yeah.
Because now you're not over leveraged when all this has happened.
And now what? Sorry.
You're not over leveraged, as in you don't have 10 finance payments going. Like you don't have multiple finance payments going out. You own all your assets, and now you can kind of ride the storm.
Yeah. So I've only got the 1, which is my brand new van. I've only had it a few months, and I called them this morning actually, and I've took out like a 3-month payment holiday, so that's not a problem. But still, I've got all these members of staff that are about to go onto furlough, so I've been trying to learn all of that at the moment. I don't know if you've heard about that. Yeah,
my guys are on it. We've arranged something with my accountant. The way I run my thing, because I work as a coach as well on the side of this. So I have that business, and then the crisscross business. So I'm okay either way, and then we do a bit of work with property as well. So the way I've got my thing structured, I'm quite okay. But I'm still obviously we're still trying to get the grip with everything. It's a big change, and I'm trying to stay on top of it.
So how many have you got bookings still going on next week? Well, this week, sorry.
Yeah, this week we're finished. So the only reason we're doing this one was because this girl really needs to get over, and she's a cousin of a friend of mine who needs to come back for the NHS. So
Right.
otherwise I would have just cancelled it. But because we're over to London to bring her back, I thought we might as well do this girl as well. But
Yeah.
aside from that, we're finished for the moment.
That's good. That's good. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard actually. Since I've actually closed my doors, I've had so many phone calls, and I'm not the person that says no to anything. And it's absolutely killed me saying no to so many people.
Especially when they phone you up, and like we talked about off camera, like moving houses, like it's one of the most stressful things you'll ever do. And so many people don't really know why I do it, but see the testimonial you get from an actual customer who's had a great experience from from seeing them at the start of the day and then seeing them at the end of the day is like again there's fulfillment there for me.
Yeah.
It's not always about how can we squeeze money out of people. It's about how can we create a stress-free moving experience, which is what I promise everybody that we're going to do.
Yeah. That's the more I've grew as a company, the less I meet my customers. That is the one thing that I've really struggled with, to be honest, because I started my company I fall in love with people's stories. So I could sit with somebody and I could spend a whole day with them, and I'd love to hear about how they got to where they are and what they do as a job and their family. And I'm the kind of person that will sit on the sofa and look through a photo album with my customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the bigger I've grew, the less I meet my customers now. I know it sounds strange, but I've got a guy, for instance, when we get a call, so that goes through to the office, Esther would take that phone call. Esther would book in the quote. Luke goes and does my quote. Luke would come back and send the figures, etc., to Esther. Esther would speak to the customer, and then the date will get booked, and the guys will go out.
Yeah.
So I'm probably meeting 20% of my customers now. So that was a hard transition for me.
So do you still work on the van, or are you completely off the van now?
If I'm working on the vans, it's because somebody's ill or we're super busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I enjoy it. I always have because on one hand I'm trying to take bookings, and then on the other hand I'm on the van. So you can't do both. You can only do one or the other.
Yeah.
But I mean, if once we were actually about to sign for our premises there not long ago, I'm glad we didn't, because I wanted to make sure I had a build up capital.
Yeah.
Which we did. I didn't have what I needed to have, so I ended up buying another van instead. But I love going out and doing the moves, but I only like doing it when I'm not attached to the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the moves. I absolutely love it. Really do. However, when I do a move now, my mind isn't fully in it like it used to be, because my phone's constantly going off.
That's how I feel now as well.
Yeah. And I look stressed as well, if I'm in front of a customer and I've got lots going on my phone and staffing issues or whatever's going on, it shows in me. I can't hide it very well because my heart is on my sleeve.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's you when you're there, you want to be there. When we done a couple of moves last Friday for people who were having trouble with, I had staff who couldn't work because of their high risk families and stuff. It's just fun. So I was out and we had 2 big moves on, but we worked from 7 in the morning to 11 at night. And like 4 or 5 o'clock, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
I just remember it was just, there was people phoning me, people ringing me, people texting me, and I just felt the whole energy just drained. And I was like, I was walking around the house trying to be useful, but couldn't be useful because your head's just not there.
Yeah. I had carry on, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just remembered a time then, it was about 2 months ago or something. It was a humongous move, one of our biggest moves, and I was driving there and I was in a real good mood, and I was thinking I'm on the vans today and everything's cool, everything's great.
You're cracking with the boys as well.
Yeah, I was buzzing for it, and I got about 2 minutes away from the address and I got a phone call from another job which I had, which was going to Tunbridge Wells. Yeah. And it just got a puncture in the middle, in a fast lane of a dual carriageway.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that the van was overweight and the police were on their way. So he'd already, before he'd called me, he'd called the AA, and the AA had found out where he was. And they said, you're in a high risk area, so we're sending the police out.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, I turned up to that job, which I was really buzzing about. I was so nervous. I was so stressed because obviously, you know what it's like in our industry. You never really know if you're underweight or overweight.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just really, really worried.
Yeah.
But
so go ahead.
It turned out, like it always does, everything just irons out nicely. Everything was fine. The police got there, pulled him to one side where they basically let him drive onto the hard shoulder, and the AA come about an hour later, fixed the puncture, he's on his way. So there's no need for the stress sometimes, is there?
No, not at all.
No.
But tell me about what is your view on the removals industry as a whole?
I need to kind of say it without upsetting people, I guess.
Yeah, say it.
I feel like at least 50% of the industry looks tired. It looks like it needs a revamp. It looks, you know, like it's lacking something. I feel like there's a lot of old timers, and they're still old timers. They haven't progressed with the times.
Yeah.
So there's people like me, you. I've got other removal friends that are similar to us, and they're bringing the energy. So you know, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know, you guys have been going for so long, but you're not really like, I don't gravitate anywhere near you. I gravitate towards us. You there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, so I feel like there's a whole fresh breeze of energy coming in, and these guys up here are just lacking it. And I feel like also these guys up here don't support us as much as we need it. In fact, they actually go against us most of the time.
Well, I agreed 100%. The thing that I'm seeing now is, you know, there's not many people our age wanting to get into the removal industry because it's a local service, right? So most people, you know, you're 34, I'm 30, nearly 29. So I seen an opportunity for local services. I didn't want to do an online business. I didn't want to be the kind of entrepreneur that was building an online business and just wouldn't be dealing with people. It's not who I am. It's not in my nature.
Yeah.
My thoughts is there's a huge opportunity for people like us to come in and develop something great in local services, because there's guys up here who are refusing to move with the times, refusing to do online marketing, refusing to get value to their customers or extra value. And then the other side of it, where people are starting online businesses, social media marketing, which is fantastic, you know. But eventually that's going to become oversaturated as well. And there's going to be, nobody wants to get down and do a bit of hard work and get into an industry where there's opportunity for to have a great local service.
Definitely. I like it. We're very similar.
Yeah. And it's a scalable business. I know you can still, people say, you know, removals, mom and pop is not scalable in terms of global reach, but you don't have to have a global reach to have a great business. You can just have it and just do it really well.
Definitely.
So that's the reason I chose it, even though it didn't start out like that. But that's why I fell in love with the process, the process of building this business.
Yeah.
The only thing that I knew how to do at 26 years of age when I started was, number one, speak to customers, and number two, work hard physically. A natural fit. But as I've grown and progressed, I've just seen opportunities. I see people in the industry, and there's people I'm friends with in the industry as well. But there's other people that are just like, they're just fed up, and because there's nobody stepping on their toes, or nobody, you know, because of all the people coming through right now are going online. They're getting lazy and they're getting complacent.
Definitely, 100%. So I've got some good friends that I'd consider. Have you ever heard of Dream Team Removals or Comprehensive Removals?
No.
They're two guys. They're both in a similar area. They're like Romford, Essex way.
Okay.
And they've been following me on Instagram, and we'd been like sending messages to and fro for about a year, and then the one guy just said, "Oh, let's create a WhatsApp group." So it's me, Dream Team, and Comprehensive in a WhatsApp group. We'll add you to it, actually.
Yeah, add me to it.
Yeah. And we just become really great mates. You know, we encourage each other, we give each other tips, we do Zoom meetings like this, and it's just brilliant, to be honest. I find it really valuable making friends in the industry.
So you need the support.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to have support.
Because to be honest, you don't like to bring it home to your missus. You know, you don't really like to speak about removals to, you know, you don't want to bring it back to the family. So it's nice to have somebody that you can vent to and somebody who understands as a business owner. That's what I find great.
Yeah. So what are the biggest challenges that you have seen when you're scaling a removals business, or your removals business specifically?
Biggest challenges, I would say, staff.
Yeah.
Staff. Reliability, because I'm quite OCD. So when I say I'm OCD, when I try and find a staff member, I don't believe in a trial shift, because anybody is a superstar in one day. So I have to make sure that they have at least 5 days, whether they're 5 days in a row or one weekend here, one weekend there. You know, I figure you learn somebody after a good week. You know, that's when their true colours start to come out. However, you're always going to get these like bad apples. I've got one guy who, and he won't mind me saying this because I say it to him anyway. He's a nightmare. He is a nightmare, but he's unbelievable. He's the best removal man I've ever come across, ever. But he sometimes just doesn't show up. You know, he just don't answer his phone and he just doesn't come in. You know, he has these like AWOL days, and I just want to like wring his neck sometimes. But I love him. He's one of those kind of characters.
Yeah, I've got one of those myself.
Have you?
Although there's usually alcohol and stuff involved the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's one of them people that just brings energy. Like, he's phenomenal. He's so funny. Like, when we're doing stuff, like, everybody's in wrinkles laughing. So he's really reliable on one hand, but on the other hand, he's just like, you know, sometimes he'd show up hungover, or, you know, he'll be late. It's tough. It's tough getting the staff. What is it you look for in people, just in case anybody that might want to work for you?
In staff, sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like they need image. I like image. I like someone who looks fresh, who looks good, who can wear a Warrens top nicely. You know, somebody who doesn't look like they've just been dragged out of bed. Image is big for me. Personality, hard work. You know, I feel like you probably come across these guys, you know, when you first meet them, and a friend of a friend, and they come in. I can almost tell in the first hour if they're a good removal man. You know, some people slouch around or they need babysitting, but other people just know. You know, we know that all of that stuff has got to get onto that van. So don't stand next to me asking me what you want me to do next. You know, let's just get it on, bring it to me. I'll guide you, but I don't necessarily need to babysit you. So
those kind of things.
It's difficult to say a particular type, because, you know, everyone's different.
Well, I sort of look for specific personality things that I look for in people. And, you know, you can kind of teach anybody removals. Guide someone through the process, and I find it difficult to train staff now because I'm busy. And I definitely wouldn't take a new person out with just me if I was doing a 2-man job.
No.
But you can teach anybody removals, but it's like, you know, having a friendly smile, having a good personality, having a good image, being sort of clean cut, well presented, and being friendly with the customers, just having a naturally good energy. Those are things that I don't want to have to teach people.
No, of course.
They're looking for. But then on the other side of it, obviously, they have to do the job as well, or at least have a willingness to learn. Period of a week or a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same.
So what do you find yourself doing now in the business? Like, what was your main role?
My main role now is I I oversee the company, so I manage all of the staff. I'm also looking at different angles, different ways to create more business. I find it quite easy to get meetings with people. So if I want a meeting with an agent, I've normally got a reputation, you know, it's easy to set one up. So I like to do stuff like that. But it's strange with me because I feel like I don't do anything physically, but I'm busy all day. It's just running a company with like 15, 16 people, I suppose. I'm just a man manager at the moment.
Yeah. And you've got guys who are managing the moves, yeah?
Yeah, so I've got tiers. My company's got tiers. So I've got me at the top, and then I've got Luke just below me as the general manager, and then I've got 5 team leaders.
Yeah.
So like the stress kind of gets filtered down, and then I've got the team leaders who are great. All of them are brilliant, and then they lead each job. So I normally do 4 moves a day.
Right, okay. Jesus, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a big operation.
Yeah, it's good. And
yeah,
how did you get that structure set up within your business? Was there something in particular? Because I know for myself, before I had structure, and we're still a lot smaller than you, but I knew I had to get the structure before the scale. So how did you learn that, or what did you have someone help you, or?
No, so I feel like the best way to grow is you have to live out of your depth, and it's scary. It's a scary world. It's like jumping into the deep end every single day. But that's how I did it. So I'm not good at saying no. So I know that my capability is probably taking on 1 move, two moves a day, you know, going back a couple of years. But for some reason, I could never turn down that 3rd move.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always hiring out a van here and getting extra staff in, and that's just how I grew. So then when I did that, I realized actually that wasn't so bad. I could do that again. So then that kind of just like filtered out to a very normal week, 3 moves a day, every single day. So now we're like on to 4 moves a day. So the best advice really is live out of your depth. If you can handle it, if your stress levels can handle it, do it. If you want to grow, you've got to. Otherwise, you're just going to stagnate. You're going to tell people now, I'm busy, I'm booked. But you're not going to know unless you try.
I'm exactly the same. I just book it in, and I'm sitting there at the start of the week going, shit, how am I gonna do all this? And then I go to charge first, then I rent the van for the day. I grab somebody, start going through the phone book. Do you want to help me? I've got a move here, just you and I. And it's short term. The money's a bit slower because obviously the van leaks and stuff like that.
I'm just gonna need to get my charger. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
To cut out.
So, I think you just need to go for it. I mean, I know people who just do marvelous work, and they wouldn't even hire a second van to take on a big job.
They wouldn't.
No.
See, well, I just don't think that they're going to grow.
How can you grow without taking risk and finding out? And plus, you develop relationships with van hire companies, which is
yeah, of course, definitely. Sorry about this, mate.
Go ahead, though. Crack on.
Is that all right?
Yeah, perfect. So, you mentioned relationships with estate agents. Tell us a little bit about how that's helped you with the growth of your business.
Sorry, say that again, Chris.
You mentioned to me earlier on, and this is something that I'm currently doing as well.
Yeah.
I've hired a couple of staff, so my time during the day is just a little bit more free. So I started meeting estate agents. I've started meeting different people for business. So tell me how that's impacted your business.
I've seen on like the Facebook forums and stuff, and people are really slate the fact that estate agents are a waste of time. But to be honest, they've been so crucial to my company. So brilliant, to be honest, because what I've always felt is for instance, an estate agent has already built a relationship with their customer.
Yeah.
So by the time they've sold their house, you know, they're pretty much friends. So then all of a sudden the estate agent recommends us. So we're going into a house.
Yeah.
And we've already almost won the business because they trust the agent so much that you're walking in. It's almost like you've got it without even trying, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need to sell.
No, although I'm not a salesman anyway, I kind of just go in and do my thing. But sometimes you go in and you can say, oh, Karen from Nickel and Co has recommended you. That's all I need. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of going in there with like a lot of confidence right away, and you've got a talking point. It's not just, oh, I found you on Checker Trade, or do you know what I mean? It's not something like that. It's like, oh, you know Karen. Yeah, so do I. Karen's lovely. I moved Karen myself. You know, there's a good talking point. It's a good icebreaker as well at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my view is estate agents can be your biggest salespeople if they're commission. If you've got a bit of commission and you've got a good working relationship. I never say commission straight away, because I don't. You know, when I'm talking with an estate agent and saying about setting up referrals, I never leave with it. I come in with the angle of, right, we obviously understand that you're a great, you know, you're good at what you do and you want to service your clients to a very high quality.
Yeah.
And we want to help you deliver something exceptional on the end of that. So not only, and then I say, not only is the customer happy with the recommendation, they're happy with the service, and then also we're getting a commission on the back end as well. So it's a win-win. I just never leave it, because I think especially the bigger estate agents are looking to service their clients at a high level, and that's what they're looking for more than money.
Yeah, definitely. So how many agents are you in with? Are you in with any?
We're currently in with two, but they're two pretty big ones.
Are they?
So again, there's just like your biggest fans. We actually helped the first one, and we helped her move house, and then the second one, we moved his mum, but we also moved the girl out of the house that they were moving into.
Oh,
and
really?
All just absolutely delighted with the service. So it just, you know, it just goes to show you could just be one phone call away from development and growing.
Yeah, definitely.
The relationship is more important than the money.
100%. Yeah, because I've had a few removal men that call me in my years of going, and a lot of them are always really interested in the estate agent part of things. And they say, how do you get in with this person? Yeah, what's the trick? But there's a lot of tricks. There's not just one trick. There's a lot, you know, like you mentioned, then you moved out, somebody who worked in the office. That was one of my main ways in at the start, because if I was to get a call from a manager or, you know, somebody who worked in the office, that would be my way in. I'd say, okay, I'll do this move, and I'll do it for nothing whatsoever. You know, I won't even ask for money for my staff if you can get me a meeting with your manager. So, you know, I'll take the hit for that one, but then I can have a whole estate agent recommending me. So all I need to do then is make an impact on the meeting.
Yeah. And you're also like, you're willing to do this. This is another thing that you just said that I really like, is the short term. You're willing to take a loss in short term for a long term gain.
Yeah.
And so many people aren't willing to do that. So many people aren't willing to budge on something as simple as money. And I'm like, well, relationship. Two things are more important than money. That's relationships and your time. Those are the two things far more important than money. So why not take a short term hit that develop a sales machine that can actually bring you in business and great relationship at the same time?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. There's so much more things more important than money. So if you look at the money side of things, if you look at, say, a move for me and two other guys and a couple of vans, it probably charge about £600 for.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you scale it right back and you say, I'll do it for free, all you're paying out really is your staff and a bit of fuel.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take away that £600. Like it was never yours anyway. You're just paying £200, £250 at most for what could be a lifetime of referrals.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I'm just trying to get my phone to balance. Sorry, mate.
Go ahead. It's just it's like a delayed gratification. I know my view on, especially on a local business or something you're trying to grow, you need to have delayed gratification. You can't think short term. You need to be thinking 3, 5, 10 year plan.
Yeah.
not how am I going to maximize every penny out of this week, and how
100%.
it's just not how I think. I don't think about how much money I'm going to have at the end of the week. I'm thinking, how many vans am I going to have at the end of this year? How,
Yeah,
how am I going to buy all this equipment? And
yeah,
kind of things. It's just not how my brain works. I just don't. Obviously, I care about money to a certain degree because I need the business to make money. But I don't think
yeah,
in terms of let's this person is needing to move on Friday and they're desperate. Let's put a premium on it, which a lot of people do.
yeah.
I was disgusted at some of the stuff I read on Twitter last Friday night or Saturday night. Did you have you read anything on Twitter about what's going on?
About the removal industry?
Yeah,
No.
I just seen people trying to charge double for people.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a bit of that. Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Like, how are these guys going to stay in business whenever they get slated?
I know. I
Um,
know. It's I've seen that somebody got quoted like £4,000 for a 2-bed house move.
no way.
Yeah. Don't think she accepted it, but still the quote is not
Yeah.
good. Someone proper tried it on there.
Jesus, definitely. Why
Yeah.
would you bother? Why would you bother going for? I know let's say for example, you put that job on. The people are going to talk about that. They're
Yeah.
really desperate to pay the £4,000,
I know. Yeah.
and then
It's you just can't justify it. You can't justify it. You know, you'd almost feel like a crook accepting that money.
I would feel awful. But that's the way. That's the way. It's every industry is the same.
Yeah.
There's crooks and there's good people who want to do things.
Yeah. Definitely.
So let's talk about the first 3 years. You bought your second van after the third year.
Yeah. So by the third year, I had 3 vans.
You had three vans.
3 vans. Yeah. I was still trading from my. So when I first started, I was trading from my kitchen. So the guys that worked for me, I had 1, 2 guys, and they'd come in, we'd have a coffee in the kitchen, and then I promoted myself and went into the garage, and I kitted my garage out. My garage was like, it was horrible to be honest, thinking about it, but it was actually my palace at the time. I loved it. It was amazing.
Okay.
I had like a crappy little desk there. I bought a fridge, a mini fridge, had the milk in, the kettle, and I felt really professional. In fact, I did a couple of interviews. Thinking back now, it's quite poor actually, but I did a few interviews, and I did it in my kitchen in my conservatory, and I said, I do want to come and have a look at the offices and stuff, and then I'd go into the garage and I'd open it, and the garage door was like on a lean. And I was really proud of it. It's just thinking back now, I suppose that's what progression is all about, isn't it? But back then I absolutely loved it. And then the one day, I forget, it's probably 2.5 years ago now, one of my mates that I used to work with in David Lloyd, I used to be a chef before this. So when I was working in haulage, I was also doing chefing. I had like two jobs. And he rang me, he said, I've just had a PPI claim, I've got £5,000. He said, I'm quitting David Lloyd, I can't stand it. And he said, I've seen that you're doing quite well in removal. Do you mind if I come and jump on with you for a bit whilst I'm looking for another job?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, not a problem, because he's a great guy. He's managerial. He used to be my manager. And I said to him, you never know. You might actually like it, Luke. You might love it. You might actually stick around. I never thought he would, but he come along. And then he started implicating little things which I lack, because I'm like you. I'm a real hard worker. I'm a likable guy. I go out and meet the customers, but I lack academics. So I don't really know about timesheets and calendar systems and emails. I'm not very good at spelling, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he started incorporating a lot of stuff into my company, which I started to realise that I lacked. So something as simple as like timesheets, and then he said, actually, I think we need to start going into payroll. Instead of like having invoicing, and I was like self-employed guys and all of that. He said, we need to start employing these people now.
Yeah.
So he kind of threw me into a fire pit that I didn't really want to be in, but I trusted him. So, and he grew my company with me, to be honest. So I'm not going to take all the credit, because without him, I wouldn't be where I am now. But, you know, he's just like a great guy. He's really progressed business for me. So he's given me time to stand back, think about things, buy more vans. You know, I've just got more time to myself thanks to him. So now he does all of my quotes. So, you know, if I'm doing quotes, it's because he's got too many quotes on. So my job now is to try and fill his week full of quotes. So we're probably doing about 40, 50 quotes in a week.
Jeez.
Yeah. So he's normally doing about 8 a day, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's back-to-back quotes, driving here, there and everywhere. I bought him a van. So he's fully part of the family now. He's like one of my best mates.
So you had someone in to help teach you, like, it sounds like he knew a lot about process and operations and that sort of stuff. It's something.
Definitely.
And how is it you to have somebody who has the skills to do that?
Well, because he was a manager at David Lloyd, they're so structured, they're really strict, and he's got all these processes and stuff, and he brought like so much professionalism into the company. Mm-hmm. So for instance, like about 2 or 3 months after we'd employed everybody, he set a big first aid course, training days, you know, all those kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the last things that I would think about. I know it sounds stupid, but that I'm just so wrapped up into removals that I don't think about that side of things.
Yeah.
But so he was incorporating all these little gems, and you know, now we've got these posters and framed certificates for all the staff doing these courses, and it's just, I owe him for all that kind of stuff, really, because if it wasn't for him and that break away from David Lloyd and him joining my company. Yeah. But then again, you know, he can't even remember David Lloyd now. He's so wrapped up into Warrens Removals. He can't remember his life before it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and those are the things that I think about that I want to do, but I think I need somebody like that in my business to help. It is like, especially the thing about that I think about entrepreneurs or business owners is that you can almost get wrapped up in your own ego and not want to admit that you need somebody to help.
Yeah.
So many are so egotistical. They're afraid to say, I'm not the best at that, I'm not the best at that. And they try to take on too much. And you spread yourself very thin and become a master of nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to have staff that have the skills to do that. Like, I've got some fantastic removals men now.
Yeah.
People who are far better than I am.
Yeah.
That leaves me to focus on the stuff that I need to focus on.
Yeah.
Marketing and growth and meeting people and folks and things like that. So
yeah,
it's good that you found someone.
Yeah, and this sounds really strange, but sometimes in certain predicaments, say if we've like got a tricky customer or something like that, or emails, I'd almost look at him sometimes, like he's my boss. I'd look at him for approval. Would you send this, Luke? Would you send this message? And he's like, nah. He'd tell me straight. It's like, nah, don't send that one. You know, let me do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So the other guys, you know, they look up to me, so it doesn't really matter what I say. They listen, but Luke tells me what I need to do sometimes, and I feel like, you know, that's priceless.
So he's almost like a CEO, like he's just completely processed and almost systemized the business for you.
Yeah,
which is great, because it's a very difficult thing to do, especially for removals. You know, because every job's different, and every customer's different, and to have processes and systems, you can have things at the start of the day and the end of the day, but for the actual day-to-day moving work, it's so valuable, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Why you need good people in who know what they're doing, so you don't have to tell them how to wrap a chair or how to wrap a sofa. They just know.
Yeah.
You have to tell them how to, you know, how you want the van checked, or how to do these things, and all the simple stuff.
Yeah.
But
so Luke brought in like van checks, you know, simple little van checks, which I probably wouldn't have thought on before, but all the staff in the mornings have to do their van checks and make sure that they're fueled and handing in receipts and signing in. We've got this like signing in app now, which is scan your phone. So when they get to the unit, they scan in, so that logs in what time they started and when it gets back. Nice. It just brings out these like new things all the time, and they're always like really fresh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What system are you using to manage your booking? You gotta, like, how are you managing those?
So we've created our own. So I know there's a lot out there, like Removals Manager or whatever.
That's what I'm using at the minute.
Yeah, so those two guys that I mentioned before, Dream Team and Comprehensive, they love it. They swear by it. And to be honest, if I wasn't so deep into my company, I'd probably be on it.
Okay.
Because I was actually looking for something like that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've kind of catered my own little system using numbers on the iPhone, creating our own spreadsheets, our own quote sheets, and then forwarding it on and creating our own quote to send to the customer, kind of thing. So everything's catered to Warrens Removals. So our step-by-step is so, suited to us, really. So it'd be wrong for us to change now because it's working. Mm-hmm. So although that took a long time to sort out, it's really good. So basically, we got it on numbers. So we walk in on my phone. Luke uses his iPad. So we fill out the quote sheets. Yeah. We come out. We sit in the van or the car. We work it out. We forward that on using WhatsApp to Esther in the office. Yeah. Tell her the price. So for a pack move, tell her all about the move pricing. So by the time me or Luke have done that, Esther has already sent the quote to the customer. So by the time we walk out of the customer's house, the customer would have the quote in her email within 15 minutes. Yeah, yeah. So it's like a structured system. By the time we get to the next quote, we've sometimes got that booking. Yeah, yeah. People accept it quickly if they like it. Yeah. Even if your price is slightly higher. Definitely. Plus, if you act fast and you're not lackadaisy with it. I know some companies, I'm not sure about your area, I know some companies around near me, they post out their quotes. So they don't even use email, they get back and they post it. So people are waiting a couple of days for their quote. Get with the times. There's no way. Yeah. Like we live in such a fast-paced world. We want it yesterday. Yeah. Like, we need to have a quote to a customer within a couple of hours. It's so critical. Yeah. And see, if I had somebody come to my house, whether it is a decorator or landscape or whatever, I'm the kind of person like, how much is it? How much is it going to cost? I really need to know. For some reason, I'm like that. So I feel like everyone's like that. So I know a lot of people want to know the price there, and I say, look, I'm going to work it out. I'll be real quick, and I'll be with you within half an hour. And I'm never wrong, because if I promise it, they get it. Yeah, yeah. So just thinking, what are the top 3 mistakes that you've made over the past, let's say the past year, past 1 year? Past year. 3 mistakes. I can't even think of one. Or even your biggest mistake to date in business. Okay, so I would say this was a big mistake because it was quite financially. It hit us big time financially. So when I moved from my garage to my first unit, my first warehouse, mm-hmm. I kind of I went in like a rabbit in the headlights. I just loved it. The first one I looked at, I was like, this is amazing, because I was only comparing it to my garage. Yeah. So I looked at it and I thought, this is humongous. Like, I can't believe how big it is. I've made it. I felt like Bill Gates. And then by the time I did all the deeds, it cost like £1,100 a month. We did the transition from a garage to the unit. Yeah. And by the time I parked all my vans inside, they didn't fit. So for some stupid reason, I never checked it out first. So I never weighed up how big I needed it. So I tied myself into a 2-year lease deal with a unit, and it was already too big the day we moved, too small the day we moved in.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was one of my mistakes.
That was a big financial hit.
It was a bit, yeah, because it was almost like we were itching to get to the 2 years by the time we moved into it, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
And it was a landlord who was quite fussy, so I was always growing. So in that 2 years, I bought another 4 vans. So I didn't stop, although I was too big for the unit. I bought another 4 vans, and they were just everywhere. They were all over the farmyard. They were getting in the landlord's way. He was getting all aggressive. You know, I just felt like I jumped into a place too soon because I was just so excited.
Yeah. That's exactly what I nearly done a couple of weeks ago.
Is it?
I've seen this place. It's not even for storage. It's just for an office space close to Belfast Centre. And I seen it, and I was like, this is absolutely perfect. I can store equipment here, I can store this, I can store that. And I'm not saying the numbers didn't stack up. It just didn't seem like I needed it. And I almost signed it, and of course everything happened. It's just going to take a bit of a hit to finances, so I just thought I was lucky. It wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So, what about the coronavirus? How has it impacted you and your family and your business?
Obviously, it was stopped now. Doors are shut. All of my staff are off. The vans are stationary. We're not too sure how long that's going to be for. It's very early, isn't it? So I'm still in the enjoying being at home stage for the first week. So I'm still like getting used to it, I suppose. What I'm finding pretty difficult with it is at the start of this year, I geared up and I was like, this is my year. You know, I'd prepared for it. 2020 to me was my year to shine. I really felt it. And this is just like put a right blockade in front of everything for me.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like I was really on the come up. I was like getting great reviews. Everything was coming in. My staffing was perfect. My vans, I've got all system. I had 4 moves a day. I was picking and choosing my jobs. I wasn't quiet ever. Everything was going great, to be honest. And this has hit me big time.
Yeah. Is it just a financial thing, or is it just the fact that you can't work and you can't keep going?
No, the financial thing hasn't hit me too hard at the moment, because obviously the furlough thing, if I can claim it all back, then obviously it's not too bad. But it's more my thought, my mind's running with, where's the property market going to end up? Are we going to be as busy as we were then when it's fixed? I've got a problem where I don't think positively about things sometimes. I feel like I look into the future and I feel like I'm a bit negative about the outcome.
Okay.
So I shouldn't be really, but I suppose it prepares me a bit more than if I'm always happy about everything.
Yeah. It's I mean, of course we all want to be realistic. So hold on, I'm just going to turn the light on here.
Yeah.
You know, on one hand you want to be realistic, but on the other hand,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. One hand you want to be realistic, but on the other hand you want to obviously prepare for the worst, because you just don't know how things are going to go. As a business owner, it's just because a lot of people aren't going to have a company to come back to. Luckily enough, you've spent a lot of time. I mean, I've done a lot of research on your company over the last couple of weeks. Like, you've built up a great reputation. You've got great online reviews. Like, it might take a couple of months when you open your doors again, but things will bounce back. Because the brand is strong, like, and your reputation is strong. It's just how the housing market's going to go, we'll never know. But we just have to sort of grit teeth and keep taking action, keep doing what we're doing.
I think my main issue in my head and what I think about is my staff, because they're like my best mates, you know, all of them. They're not just staff to me. They're really good mates, and And I never just think I'm feeding him or I'm feeding her. I always think I'm feeding a household, I'm feeding a family. So I never want to let anybody down.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, it terrifies me wondering if we're going to get back after this and I'm not going to have enough work and I'm going to have to lay people off, and that would really hurt me, that would.
Yeah.
So,
I've assured my guys that their job's safe. I just,
yeah,
you know, if a full-timer and a part-timer, and a couple of guys that do a bit of work for me, you know, as subcontractors. But
yeah,
I've assured them that their jobs are safe. No matter
yeah,
what, we're going to find out how to do something. We're going to shoot content. We're going to figure out a way to make use of the time.
yeah,
Because I don't see the point in wasting it. You know, take a couple of days off, sure. Think you've got a family, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Take everybody taking a bit of time off, spending time with their friends and their loved ones. But I don't.
yeah.
In a 3-month lockdown, I think we could do something creative that are going to put us on the map over here, especially. Really,
Yeah, definitely.
because like we talked about earlier, there's many people becoming complacent and
Yeah,
lazy, and why not use the time wisely?
yeah. I feel like this, although I don't wish it on anybody, I feel like this could knock quite a lot of removal companies for six. They might think, I don't really want to bounce back from this. I'm done with it. You know, and I've still got so much energy, so I could power through, and this could be big for me. But that's my positive side of my brain coming in.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then I think, actually, after this, am I really going to have enough work to fill 4 moves a day? Because that's what I need. I almost need 3 or 4 moves every single day for all of my staff to be full time.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I worry about, because I've only ever grew. I've never done that.
yeah. this is
Never
the
done it.
this is the time. I mean, everybody, a lot of people are in a position where they are over leveraged. I think I specifically kept my business small because I just heard a lot of people talking over the last year. You know, we were definitely due a recession. We were due something. Obviously, nobody predicted this, but
No.
I think a lot of people, you know, when you go out and start a business, you and I know starting a business from scratch is not easy. And
No.
using what they call sweat equity, as in using your own money to fund your business and taking a
Yeah.
short-term personal financial hit to keep investing in your business and just keep working through. But so many people are out there raising capital and raising finance to fund products and services and things, and
Yeah.
they're going to leave themselves in a very shitty position.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree.
Like we say, short-term gratification. So many people want it tomorrow, so they want to go for outside investment to make it happen tomorrow. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's willing to wait sort of 5-10 years that it takes to grow something significant. And I think it's gonna hurt a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think this is completely different to a recession, but obviously it can cause a recession. So I've got quite a lot of business guys that are in my family, and my wife's dad is a businessman, and he gives me a lot of advice. And he was speaking about the 2008 recession and how it impacted him. Because the first thing I thought of during this coronavirus outbreak was a recession, and if I was going to have to get to a point of selling my vans and coming out of my unit and back into my garage, you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Did you go back if you had to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd build it again. Or, I've got the vans now, so I'll just adapt. I feel like I can adapt to a different industry if needed, or like a bit of haulage, or, a bit of delivering. I'd utilise my van somewhere, no doubt.
mm-hmm.
But you said, in 2008, businesses were being made redundant. There's repossessions everywhere, empty buildings, and it was just horrendous. It was like the worst time to be alive, he said, because it is business literally went crash on that. He said, but this is like McDonald's, for instance, have shut down, but once this is gone, McDonald's will be reopened. So the economy it shouldn't take too long to pick back up once everything is back up and running.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit of confidence in it. And then I went to do a quote not so long ago, and this is a guy who's like a brainiac when it comes to politics, and he's like, "Nah, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it." And I walked out of that really confident as well. So
But you've got to remember as well, like, I mean, uh, like people's spending habits aren't going to change. People, is that your dog?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Mine's well sleeping. Mine's sleeping over there. She's busted. Um, so I can't even remember. What was it saying there? I can't remember.
Uh, we went from
Oh, so
recession.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, people are not going to change their spending habits overnight. People love to spend money, and
Yeah,
when bars open again and everybody gets all the self-employed at the start of June, if it all kicks over by then, I know
yeah,
people are going to be getting some big payouts into their bank account, so
yeah,
they don't want to go out and spend money in town and going drinking. But
yeah,
for people like me and you, there could be a backlog of mortgages being
yeah,
delayed, so you could get an influx of a lot of work in one go,
yeah.
which
I'm
is
hoping so. You know, when I at the start of this, and I said that I had to cancel 38 moves or something like that, and
yeah,
I had to cancel 18 in that 1 week. Well, I would say 70, between 7 and 80% of those people have said, "Don't worry, Warren, we will wait." And that's that. We're not going elsewhere. We're not going to move in the middle of this. So we'll be there on the other side. So I'm hoping that I have got a buoyant company to come back to.
yeah, yeah.
We've got a lot of bit. I'm hoping to have a build up of moves. And ever since last week, I've done about 10 video quotes, which I actually quite like doing. Actually,
Yeah,
they're quite good. Yeah,
I've done a couple myself on FaceTime. Um,
yeah,
there's there's still nothing quite like going and doing an on-site survey. It's just not. It,
no,
like you say, you get to meet the people, and I think just even taking the time out, because there's a lot of companies now that don't do them.
I know. Yeah, yeah,
I was shocked whenever I actually remember doing a move not long ago for a girl, and I said to her, I was like, why did you choose us? Just out of curiosity. And she said, of all the companies I phoned, you're the only one that actually came out to give us a quote. And I was like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. It's
Um,
brilliant. I always ask that question. I'm always so intrigued why, like,
people choose you.
how did you hear of us and why did you choose us? I love it. I love hearing about how you moved my neighbours or you moved, my sister, and you did a great job. It gives you a real buzz, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years? Where do you see Warren and Warren's Removals?
I feel like I can't just keep buying small vans, so I have to go HGV soon. I feel like I'm just gonna have to do it.
Really?
So many people have asked me the same question, like, why aren't you HGV? And to be honest, I'm still not interested now, but when you're talking 5, 10 years, I probably will be there. However, that question's really difficult for me because I take every week and every month as it comes. I don't really have any goals. I don't ever think I want to be here and I want to be there. And for some reason, I'm not that guy. I'm just happy with where I am, and I progress gradually without really thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's not a very good answer for you there, sorry, Chris, but I would quite like different depots in different cities, to be honest.
yeah,
That's what I would really like, but I'm not like reaching for that. That's not my goal. I just feel like in 10 years, there's no reason why I couldn't do that. I couldn't be there.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Short term to get our own storage unit. We currently lease storage from other companies.
Yeah.
Get a reduced rate, so margins are small, but it keeps our name in the door. So over the next 3 years, I would like to get a storage place or somewhere where I can put containers.
Yeah.
The next, I definitely want to buy at least one van before the end of this year. We bought one in January. I want to buy another one by December. Uh,
Yeah.
we were well on track to doing that before all this hit.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to push through the summer, hire some more staff, and
Yeah.
just keep focusing, because like I see myself as more of a marketing and sales person than I do a removals man. Uh,
Yeah.
and those are where my strengths are. So I would really like to focus on expanding on that. and
Yeah.
just keep growing the crisscross reputation, just doing a good job. I want to buy loads of equipment by the end of this year, you know, covers and things like that. I want things to be going absolutely 100% perfect, and those kind of things, because we're still, for me, we're still getting logistical errors. You're not getting timings right and not charging properly. It's largely my fault, because sometimes I'm so busy. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So they have a bit more of a smooth running operations, logistics, more consistency with pricing and things like that. And that's where I would see myself. Short term, that would be it. But long term, you know, lots of vans, storage, you know, 5 to 10 vans like yourself on storage.
Yeah, storage is fantastic. You know, margins are never really good on storage, I find, but you win on the job to it and from it. So you kind of get 2 moves per one container. So
and
you know,
plus the depot just kind of pays for itself when you're doing this.
Yeah.
So
plus you can, with a storage customer, they're so good to fill in your odd day. So if you're like, well, I'm fully booked that day, but I can do Wednesday. So you can chuck you can fill your week out quite well with storage customers.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always found really good, because, you know, we work in an end of week, end of month kind of industry, don't we? So the end of the month is manic, and the last Friday in the month is ridiculous. You know, you could be a millionaire if you had enough vans.
Yeah.
But it's gathering enough work for the Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do, and that's what storage does for me.
Lovely.
And packing jobs, you know, you could sometimes, if you're stacked out on a Friday and a Thursday, you can bring a packing job for a Friday job to a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So,
and do you find you get a lot of packing jobs? Because we don't really get an awful lot of them. We're doing one tomorrow, but we don't get loads of them. It's mostly just move.
We get a lot of packing jobs because we sell it. We sell the packing service, and we don't charge that much. And the reason for that is because we would prefer to do the pack. We know it's right.
Yeah.
So, plus it's like a feet up service. If you don't charge too much, for instance, I'll give you my price in a little bit. If it's a 2-man packing job, and it's an all day kind of event, I'd probably only charge about 250 quid.
Okay.
So you're not really earning that much money, but you're preparing that move perfectly. You know full well you're going to turn up into that moving situation, and it's done, and it's crystal clear, and you know how organised it's going to be. In fact, if you do a packing job, this 4-man job here could actually be a 3-man.
Yeah.
And you can save a wage. So we sell it. We probably do about 60-70% of packing jobs for our moves. So
really,
yeah, we're quite known for it.
Interesting. We do provide free packing materials and things like that, because people don't really need, you know, because we'll have a lot of covers and stuff. And we provide free packing materials, you know, free bubble wrap, because people don't really use that much of it. So I'm like, why not just give it for free and give a bit of extra value? And just having it there on the job just makes you look better if you're showing up and stuff isn't packed.
Yeah.
For me, we do offer it, but most people I find just want to pack themselves. Until the day before, and then they realize they're not ready to go.
Well, what I do, Chris, is, and this might help you out if you do want to go down that avenue, is on a quote, I say, do you want a packing service? And normally 60% might say, no, I'm all right, I'll do it myself. Mm-hmm. And then I always say, well, what I do is I'll provide you with the quote anyway. It'll be itemised, so you'd have the move and the pack. So then it's there, so then it entices them almost.
Yeah. Interesting.
So then they've got that option.
I actually have that on our system.
You do?
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. It's just one of those things that we're fully booked with moves anyway. So for me to get staff in to just pack is difficult. But as I say, we're trying to expand operationally, logistically. So I suppose it's an avenue worth looking down at. We do offer it, but
And the packing material things is brilliant. You know, if you're giving out free packing materials, you already got the upper hand out of most other companies out there, because you know a lot of companies charge for it. But what I do is we've got a system now. So if we drop off somebody some packing materials like a box set, bubble wrap, everything, tape, it goes onto our board. And then after the move, we put the move date on the board. And then after the move date, we give them 2 weeks. And then we know that we've got to call that customer. And we're in the area. We go and collect all the boxes back. So they're always circling. So you don't really spend any money on them if you work it right.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we do as well. Just take the boxes back. It's better.
Yeah, yeah.
It gives them value and it keeps your costs quite low as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, an hour and a half we've been talking. So
really?
Well, yeah, it's crazy. So I want to finish off. Apparently, only 15% of people listen to the end of a podcast. So what have you got to say for the 15% of people who actually sat and listened to us talk about removal shit? What have you got to say to them?
Thank you for sticking to the last part of our podcast. Me and Chris, we've had I can't actually believe it's been an hour and a half, to be honest. That just goes to show, you know, if you love what you're talking about, you love what you do, you can speak for hours.
Yeah.
But obviously, I've never ever done a podcast before, Chris. So thank you again for inviting me on. So I'm not sure how it gets edited or what people are listening. But if there's anybody that wants any advice, follow Warrens Removals, get in touch with me. I'm always there. You know, I like helping out anybody in the industry. It doesn't even matter if they live next door to me, I'll help them out. So reach out if you need to. I wouldn't consider myself a veteran of the removal world, but I do consider myself quite experienced now.
Good. So. Yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming on. It's been a really, really great chat from somebody who is trying to do some good things in the industry. An industry, as we've discussed, we're a bit.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you. Thanks, Chris. It's been great.
Yeah.